Hello everyone, Violet here, and happy full moon. So this is the snow moon in February, and I'm so excited to do this reading for you. I'm going to be creating a snowflake spread for the full moon. So if you really enjoy this reading and you want to get one for yourself, I will be going live on YouTube and Twitch. That is the plan, to do some full moon readings. One stream on each, hopefully. So there'll be 2 opportunities to get a reading just for yourself if you would like one. This is going to be for the community. And I'm going to actually be creating a snowflake spread using these amazing hex cores by Rare Dragons. So what I'm going to do is show you the options, and we're actually going to just shuffle them and see which one the community needs. But if you're getting this for yourself on stream, you'll be able to choose which one you want. We're going to be creating a snowflake of tarot cards going off of the hex core. I'm so excited. But I'll show you the options now, and then we'll shuffle them and just see, like, what spirit wants for the community. All right, so you can have a life path. This one's just kind of blank and sort of up to interpretation. I'll leave it in there. I'll leave that as a possibility. Solution. Recovery. Another open-ended one. Choices. General. Work path. Health. Time. Relationship, love path. Oh my gosh, what's it gonna be? Goal, messages, seasonal, and self. So we're gonna shuffle this and see which one comes out. And I was also thinking about this full moon. So it is in Virgo, I believe, under tropical astrology, and Leo under Vedic. And this idea of expansion kept coming to mind, just like a snowflake, like a mandala, expanding out. And it also feels like it aligns a bit with this like seasonal energy of Imbolc if you're in the northern hemisphere, and Lammas if you're in the southern. So with Imbolc, this sort of creative spark and seed that's ready to sort of bloom and blossom, and that feels to me also like that Leo energy. And then in the southern hemisphere, Lammas, which is like, kind of planning things out, and that also feels sort of like that Virgo energy. Obviously, these things, they're all sort of talking across the wheel in different ways, but it feels to me like this can all be embodied in the snowflake. Okay, so I'm not going to look. I'm just going to shuffle it a few times. Okay, what do we want for the community for this full moon? What is our focus? What's it going to be? It's such an interesting deck to shuffle with. Okay, we're gonna cut the deck and then choose the third one. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, we have time. Time. All right. Okay, let's get out our tarot cards. All right, everyone, we have our snowflake. I'm so excited about this. I love the way the snowflake looks. So this, oh my gosh, I love this spread so much. So just so you know, we're going to be reading all of the tarot cards upright, because you can tell on the back whether they're upright or reversed. So we'll just go with it and kind of see how they speak together, and that will help determine like what sort of side of the coin we're supposed to be looking at in terms of all of the different energies. So we're going to start here. Right at the bottom is present. the present. And so each of these has sort of, a snowflake going off where there's one root card, main card, and then there are two sort of either clarifying messages, or these might be different messages for different people in the community, or it could be like two different directions it could go in depending on your free will. So keep that in mind. But let's take a look at the very present energy. This will give us an idea about what this whole reading might be about. And we have, oh my goodness, the 10 of Pentacles. So this makes a lot of sense to me considering what I've been thinking about today, because I've been spending today really creating and planning ahead. And so this energy of creating and expanding and growing has a lot to do for me with thinking about like, what do I want my future reality to be? And what are the steps that I can be taking now that puts me in that direction, that helps build these building blocks to make that happen, and kind of like starting from that vision and that point and then working backwards. So I don't know about you, but I have this tendency to have way more ideas than I could ever actually like sit down and do. And with this like overabundance of ideas, having a sort of a plan or a direction, a goal in mind first to work backwards from is really, really helpful. And we don't always necessarily know what this vision is or connect with it. So I wonder if this is a bit of a reminder, like, kind of right now, where you are right now, because this is the present. Can't forget that. We're looking at the present. This could change, but what is it right now for you? Because this will really help you align the things in the present moment, how it would best serve you. So let's see what our clarifying cards are. So we have the High Priestess, and we have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so this feels like working within organic timing. And then also like intuition, and I'm gonna say manifestation too. Like there's an element of magic here too, and it's not a forceful magic. It's a magic of like being in alignment, and in doing so, things sort of start to synchronize and fall into place. And I feel like these two together, that really makes sense. The Seven of Pentacles, a message comes through to me with this, which is like when you're thinking of your goals, don't think in terms of things that are, don't think of things that are kind of too rock solid, too numerical, or like out of your control. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that you're a content creator. Instead of saying like my goal is X amount of subscribers, or X amount of money, or, like a specific number or something that's like, you can't really control like how many people come to you, or how many things get purchased, or whatever it is that you're doing, you're creating. Let's just say, especially because we're looking at Pentacles, that's making me think of business. Okay, so let's say that we're saying that. Those are goals that you can't really do anything besides work towards more so actually the feelings and the themes. So like, even if you have that as a goal, it's not really like, that's not really exactly a goal. Do you know what? I hope that this is making sense. A train's coming by to give me some ideas. Hello, train. It's about what is the experience that you want to have? What's the feeling of that experience? What's the quality of that experience? What's the purpose behind that experience? And if you align yourself with that, then things like numbers, things like milestones that are very specific and just like very set in stone, those things happen in their organic timing. And it's not something to beat yourself up over. It's not something to measure yourself by. Measure yourself by the feelings and the intentions and the quality. I think that's an important message here. I also think with the High Priestess is like, don't sell yourself short. Like when you're in this present moment and you're kind of feeling into, for one, feel grateful for what you have right here and now, since this is in the present, like that should be number one. and then feel into what ideally is possible and really let this be expansive. Think of that snowflake imagery, that mandala energy. Let your dreams expand. And you might want to take some time like scrying or doing divination or really getting into a mindset where you have the space to let your visions expand and see. Because yeah, that's a feeling I get here too, is that there's so much growth here possible. It's like, don't limit yourself in the present moment with like self-imposed beliefs or insecurities or that sort of thing. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to look at like where you've come from. We've got distant past and recent past. And then I think we go into sort of future predictions and future weavings. So distant past. Let's see what might be affecting us in this situation. The Six of Pentacles. I'm curious what the two things here are going to be, but I feel like this is different for different people in terms of like, what direction is this card? This feels like either a feeling of lack, like I don't have the resources, or a feeling of like something's been handed to me that I didn't quite earn, and there's this sort of like imposter-y thing with that. So it feels to me like the distant past, what might be informing you is, and maybe this is kind of tuning into more of the shadowy energy. I'm really curious what these two are. Maybe this is tuning into the shadow side of this card, but it's either like not feeling like you have what you need to either feel grateful now or to, feel like you can build what it is that you'd ideally dream and wish for. Or it's like something was handed to you and you almost, since you didn't like make this happen yourself, you feel like either you can't, or you feel like this sort of like undeserving sort of a feeling, or like you feel sort of frozen, like to live up to a certain expectation because of whatever this was that was like given to you. Let's see what these two cards are. I'm so curious. Yeah, 10 of Swords and the 7 of Swords. Okay, this makes so much sense. Of course I was picking up on some shadowy energy here because our two like clarifiers are these Swords cards. They're pretty intense, and this has a lot to do with the mind and the mindset. So wow, actually, yeah. 7 of Swords here feels like that sort of like that undeserving thing, like I didn't quite earn this, or I don't know who I am because things were set up for me in a certain way, or expectations were already put on me in a certain way. That's this energy of this card. And on the other hand, the 10 of Swords, it's interesting because we have this person who's kind of like at their wit's end. It feels like, they're sort of like stuck here to the ground, and yet they're reaching forward towards something. And it feels to me like this feeling of like, I don't have what I need, or even I've lost what I needed. I at one point had what I needed and now I've lost it. That could definitely be an energy here. But a reaching forward, either like, this could be talking about the sort of shadowy energy of grasping, of like not being grateful now because you feel like you're in such lack. Or it could be talking on a more positive note of saying like, I still and yet see what it is that I want to like go for. So distant past, this feels to me like the way you might have been raised or set up by your family, depending on who you are listening to this reading. That's how the distant past feels to me. Okay, so let's look at the recent past, because maybe we'll see how this has sort of developed. We have the Empress. I'm gonna look at them. Wow. 6 of Swords and Knight of Pentacles. So this feels to me like your most recent past was actually creating something for yourself that was outside of the realm of what your family set up for you. And I think that part of this gratitude in the present moment that you should be feeling is like recognizing how far you've come and what it is you have created for yourself. How incredible is that? And maybe look back too at like what method of doing this, what goals, what worked for you along the way. And really don't discount how far you have come. Don't compare it towards, what other people might think or what your future reality is and how far away this current or like recent past is from that point. Like, no, don't think of it that way. Just truly like get into this feeling of gratitude in the present moment and say, wow, look what I've been able to do and how I've been able to grow and change and what I've been able to create for myself that is completely different from the energy that my family set myself up with. Because this is the encouragement to say, like, I can't do this. I can break out of whatever it is you need to break out of. Because that's that energy here of the Six of Swords, of saying, like, I'm getting out of this. I have a new vision for myself, and there are some ways in which I cut myself away that are painful. But everything that you were going towards is empowering and is better for you, better for your spirit than whatever it was that you were set up with. And I think that this quality of being able to overcome and prove that you can think differently than how you might have been raised, or how, not in every aspect necessarily. There are some things that maybe, were very healthy and you very much aligned with your family. We're reading for a collective, so take which pieces of this resonate. But I think all of us can really feel that feeling of like we're meant to kind of further develop even more so than our parents, our ancestry, our family has. Maybe we're supposed to break certain patterns. We're supposed to prove certain things wrong. So you've already done some of this. Recognize that. Gorgeous. I love that so much. All right, so what's next? And this is aligned directly with what's present. Okay, so I think this is being birthed immediately out of this. What is next? Okay, we've got the Devil card. And our clarifiers are the Moon and the Page of Cups. So what's immediately coming to mind is desire. And I think that the thing is, when we align ourselves with our desires, I should mention this especially because this is Pentacles. Watch, and I think this is part of the message from before about like numbers and things that are kind of like too sort of flattened. Watch the materialistic nature and see how you can maybe move more towards feeling or more towards theme or, general sense of like mission and inspiration, that sort of a thing. Because I think that the Devil card comes up when we get caught up in sort of the materialistic nature of desires. I also think that when you start moving towards, something, especially if it's outside of the norm for what you've, kind of been raised with the expectation of, or the society you've grown up in, those expectations, you're going to be facing fears, and you're going to be facing challenges, and you're going to be facing initiations. So that is what's upcoming, going on this path. I was saying desire too, because the Page of Cups kind of feels like that. Page of Cups feels like sort of, it feels like the maybe not fully developed, not fully formed emotional attachment you might have to things. But I think that the path through this, which you can see in this card, is connecting to your sense of wonder and your childlike sense of creativity. Because that's actually, that's creating from the heart. Rather than once again being caught up in like, well, what do I get from it? Or what can, what status can I reach? Or like, what can I acquire? The Moon is the mystery. And I feel like this is so connected to what we were talking about before, about like not attaching yourself to certain sort of numerical outcomes or materialistic outcomes. Because the Moon is like, your journey there is a mystery. It's going to wax and wane. It's going to take you on a bit of a ride. But hey, trust this divine timing, this organic timing that we pulled from before. And trust that, like, yeah, there are going to be ups and downs where you face the devil card, essentially. You face the sort of reality mirror with the moon as well. The sort of, you're faced with yourself, faced with your fears. You're faced with certain things that maybe actually it's time to grow out of. It's time to, like, let some of those expectations and desires shed, you know, because it's not what's at the heart and the root of it. So this is moving with the tides coming in and out, which I think is going to be the next moon reading, actually. The Pisces new moon is tides. Tides coming in and out. That's my plan. And this is about initiation. Moving from the page to the knight to the queen to the king, you know. This might be a new journey. Even though we're recognizing how far we've come already, this might be a new spoke in the wheel, a new path as part of it. Okay. So next we have near future, and then we've got distant future. So let's see if we can get some advice as this plays out. I'm really feeling, especially because we're looking at the collective, especially because we all have free will, we're connecting to advice here about how to take this and where to go. So, wow, we have the magician. So learning your skill set, your individuality, you know, seeing how you yourself are different. You're different from other people. You have your specific stream of consciousness and creative potential. But you can also use, like, the tools and the learning that you have been able to gain from others. There's a balancing here. There's also, with the devil card, remember, don't get too caught up in the ego, because then in this direction, the magician could certainly take that and run with it. But the magician can also be using these qualities in a different way, which I think is the goal of what we're setting ourselves up for here. Okay, we've got the Emperor, discipline, teachers as well. I mean, the Hierophant is more so of the teacher, but this is kind of like people we look up to, I think. Examples. There's a word, it's escaping my mind. It'll come to me. And the Ace of Swords. So I feel like this does have a feeling of, like, acquiring a new skill or learning something new with the Ace of Swords, and kind of being disciplined with yourself and giving it a solid chance to take root. Because sometimes when you're learning things, it can sort of be whisked away in the air, and maybe it sort of escapes you and maybe not much comes from it. But with the Emperor, there's this kind of solid of, like, bringing it down to the physical plane, you know, making a building block out of it, building those building blocks, giving them time to build, see what happens. But without losing your sense of magic, your sense of wonder, your sense of curiosity. Okay, and distant future. We have the Three of Cups. What a celebratory card, and connecting. Okay, I feel like with the Magician, there's something here about setting out on this path on your own and truly entrusting yourself, you know, and really making it you, not making it what other people, like, want from you. Making it you, not trying to, like, emulate someone else. But then, if you start with that, you can make some real solid, beautiful connections with people who've also gone down that path, where they've done it for them. So it's not like sort of the networking type of thing where relationships might be kind of fake or superficial, or like actually want something else from each other, or, you know, that kind of thing. No, this is like authentically connecting to people who celebrate you for going on this path of your dreams. And off of this, we have the Six of Wands. Oh my gosh, another like celebration. This is also success. This is hitting those milestones. So even though you're not focused on those material or numerical goals exactly, remember, there's still organic timing at play. I feel like this is saying, you know, it was good you let go of the focus on that. That doesn't mean you're not going to reach them, though. Like, here in the distant future, yeah. Yeah, this is you reaching it, and it's being celebrated by these people that you've found that love you, and are along for the ride, along for the journey with you. It also kind of harkens back to, like, we had some shadowy energy in the past of the Six of Pentacles, of either like not having enough or kind of being like given something you feel like maybe you weren't able to fully use, or I can see how I personally relate to that. And this feels like this is like kind of a redeeming quality of that shadow 6 energy in the past. This is like the next level, or the next, it's sort of like it goes back and it heals that, but it's happening now on another level. I hope that makes sense. And on the other side, the 5 of Cups. Interesting. So although there's success, there's also loss, and there's also letting go. Okay. I think that how you start out now is not the end point. You're going to have to be willing to release and let some things go. And since this is the root here, is this card, I think that along the way you might have to let some people go. There might be people you meet along the way. But the clear way of seeing it, because you might feel like this with people. I'm trying to tune into this a bit. You might feel this energy with people that later actually, like, they were in it for the wrong reasons. Maybe they hadn't fully developed this, whereas you had, and so they're trying to like get something from you or kind of be like you in a certain way. It's something I've encountered before. It feels to me like this is the feeling, but ultimately this is how you're going to know when you are, being more and more successful and reaching certain milestones, who is celebrating you, who's trying to drag you down, or who's trying to sort of implant insecurities in you, or that sort of a thing. So yeah, this is part of it. This doesn't just immediately go away. These challenges, they're part of the whole journey all the way through. So yeah, hey, let me know what you think of this reading. I really like this format of, it's not just one card on each side of the hexagram. Like, I love this sort of like expansive snowflake, mandala, flower energy. Let me know how you relate to this collective reading. I would love to hear about it, and perhaps I will see you in a live stream, especially if you want to get one of these for yourself. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.